Welcome to Mystical Encounters, where we delve into the spine-chilling world of real-life ghost stories. Prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown, where shadows whisper secrets and the veil between our world and the spectral realm wears thin. Tonight we explore the dark corners of history and confront the terrifying tales that have sent chills down spines for generations. These are the stories that keep you awake at night, the ones that make you question everything you thought you knew about life and death. We begin our journey in the quiet suburbs of Long Island, New York, at 112 Ocean Avenue, a place forever etched in paranormal infamy. In 1974, the Lutz family moved into this seemingly idyllic Dutch colonial, unaware of the unspeakable horrors that awaited them. Just 13 months earlier, the house bore witness to a gruesome mass murder. 6 members of the DeFeo family shot in their beds. The killer, Ronald DeFeo Jr., claimed he was possessed by demonic forces within the home. Could the residual energy of such a horrific act have lingered? The Lutz family experienced a terrifying 28 days, plagued by ice-cold temperatures, foul odors, unexplained noises, and even levitating beds. One of the most disturbing claims involves the youngest daughter, Missy, who befriended an unseen entity, a demonic pig-like creature that only she could see. The Lutz family fled the home, leaving behind their belongings and a chilling tale that continues to haunt our nightmares. Our next stop takes us deep into the heart of Adams, Tennessee, where a sinister entity known as the Bell Witch wreaked havoc on the Bell family in the early 1800s. This wasn't your typical haunting. The Bell Witch was a malevolent force, an unseen tormentor that targeted John Bell, the patriarch of the family. It began subtly with strange noises and whispers, but quickly escalated into physical assaults, scratching, pinching, and even pulling hair. The entity, believed by some to be the vengeful spirit of a woman named Kate Batts, who had been wronged by John Bell, seemed to delight in tormenting the family. The Bell Witch's reign of terror lasted for years, culminating in the agonizing death of John Bell. Even after his passing, the entity continued to plague the family, leaving a legacy of fear and unsettling questions about the true nature of evil. Our exploration of the paranormal takes us across the Atlantic to the North London suburb of Enfield, where, in 1977, the Hodgson family became the unwilling participants in one of the most well-documented poltergeist cases in history. Imagine being trapped in your own home, terrorized by unseen forces. The Hodgson family lived this nightmare for almost 2 years. It started with furniture moving inexplicably, then escalated to disembodied voices, objects flying across rooms, and even instances of levitation. The 2 young daughters, Margaret and Janet, became the focal point of the haunting, exhibiting trance-like states and speaking in chilling guttural voices. Despite skepticism, investigators, including paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren, documented numerous unexplainable events, leaving many convinced that a dark force had taken hold of the Hodgson home. Chapter 4. The Myrtles Plantation Ghosts of the Old South. We journey now to the American South, to a sprawling plantation near St. Francisville, Louisiana, known as the Myrtles Plantation. This grand old mansion, dripping with Spanish moss and shrouded in the humid air of the South, holds within its walls a history as captivating as it is tragic. The plantation is said to be built upon an ancient Indian burial ground, a place where spirits are easily disturbed. Over the centuries, it has borne witness to countless tragedies, from the deaths of enslaved people to the murder of a former owner. Today, the Myrtles Plantation is a bed and breakfast, but guests often report unsettling encounters, cold spots, disembodied voices, and the ghostly apparition of a young enslaved woman named Chloe, who wears a distinctive green turban, are just a few of the chilling tales associated with this iconic location. Chapter 5. The Winchester Mystery House, Trapped in an Architectural Nightmare. Our next stop takes us to San Jose, California, to a sprawling Victorian mansion known as the Winchester Mystery House. This architectural marvel is not famous for its beauty, but for its bizarre design and the eccentric woman who built it. Sarah Winchester, the heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune, was a woman consumed by grief and fear. After the death of her husband and infant daughter, she became convinced that she was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. Acting on the advice of a medium, she began a relentless construction project that lasted 38 years. Believing that by constantly building, she could confuse and appease the spirits. The result is a labyrinthine mansion filled with dead-end hallways, staircases leading nowhere, and doors that open to brick walls. Chapter 6. The Stanley Hotel Inspiration for a Nightmare. Nestled high in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado stands the Stanley Hotel, a grand old hotel with a sinister reputation. It was here in the solitude of room 217 that author Stephen King found the inspiration for his iconic horror novel, The Shining. King wasn't the first to experience the unsettling energy of the Stanley. Guests have reported hearing phantom piano music, children laughing in the hallways, and seeing apparitions of former staff members. The hotel's founder, F.O. Stanley, and his wife Flora are said to still roam the halls, their presence felt in flickering lights and the faint scent of Flora's rose perfume. The Stanley Hotel stands as a chilling reminder that sometimes the line between fiction and reality is terrifyingly thin. Chapter 7. The Borley Rectory, England's most haunted house. Our journey takes us back to England, to the village of Borley in Essex, where the ruins of what was once considered the most haunted house in England still stand. The Borley Rectory, a sprawling Victorian rectory built in 1863, was plagued by paranormal activity from the day it was built. The ghostly apparition of a nun, said to be the spirit of a young woman who had been walled up alive within the house, was a common sighting. Objects moved on their own, disembodied footsteps echoed through the halls, and residents reported being touched, scratched, and even attacked by unseen forces. In 1939, a fire destroyed much of the rectory, but the haunting continued even in the ruins. Though now just a shell of its former self, the Borley Rectory remains a chilling testament to the enduring power of fear and the unknown. Chapter 8. From the ruins of Borley, we travel to the imposing walls of Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once the most expensive and technologically advanced prison in the world, Eastern State is now a haunting reminder of the brutal realities of solitary confinement. Closed in 1971, Eastern State has become a hotbed of paranormal activity. Visitors and investigators have reported disembodied whispers, shadowy figures lurking in cell blocks, and the feeling of being watched. One of the most unsettling occurrences is the phenomenon of the face of cell block 12. Witnesses have described seeing a grotesque, contorted face appear in one of the cell block windows, a chilling image that speaks to the suffering and despair that once permeated these walls. Chapter 9. Our next destination takes us from the confines of prison to the open ocean, aboard the legendary RMS Queen Mary, permanently docked in Long Beach, California. Once a luxurious ocean liner, the Queen Mary is now said to be haunted by the spirits of those who perished within its steel hull. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of unexplained activity, from phantom children playing in the first-class pool to the apparition of a sailor crushed to death by a door in the ship's engine room. One of the most haunted areas of the ship is stateroom B340, where guests have reported chilling encounters with an unseen presence. The Queen Mary stands as a floating testament to the enduring mystery of the sea and the spirits that may linger beneath its waves. Chapter 10. Our final destination takes us to the heart of London, to the imposing Tower of London. This historic fortress, which has served as a royal palace, a prison, and a place of execution, is steeped in 1,000 years of history and tragedy. It's no wonder that the tower is considered one of the most haunted places in England. Among the many restless souls said to roam the tower's grounds is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. Beheaded in 1536 on charges of treason, her ghostly figure, often seen carrying her head, is said to haunt the anniversary of her death. The Tower of London stands as a chilling reminder that some places are forever marked by the weight of their past. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through some of the most famous real-life ghost stories. We've explored the darkest corners of history, confronted the unknown, and felt the chill of fear run down our spines. But remember, these are more than just stories. They are glimpses into the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding, reminders that there is still so much we don't know about the world around us and the realms beyond. Until next time, stay curious and keep your eyes open for the unexplained.